So I'm just going to transition to pro baseball. So off of that, so I feel like that's a good spot to wrap up college. Same like starter question for high school to college. Is the transition like the similar thing that you were saying, where it's just the pace of the game picking up, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're facing guys that run, in a 60-yard dash. They're running 6'1s to 6'3s. Like, these guys are absolutely flying. But like they're like some of those guys, like we just got done playing Garrett Mitchell from UCLA.
Yeah.
He was the Brewers' first overall pick. He runs like a 6'1", but he also hit 2 homers against us this week. So like just the type of athlete that we're playing now is just unbelievable. And yeah, like just the pace of play is just so fast. My first year in pro ball and rookie ball, like we faced 4 guys throwing 100 plus. So like we're facing like the best of the best, and really the step up in pro ball now, because the game can't keep getting that fast. It's kind of done getting fast now, but each step up is just they're more refined. Okay, so you're not going to get like these misses, this far off the plate anymore. It's going to be this far, and it's going to look like a strike all the way until the last second. So now it's not the pace of play that's speeding up. It's just the misses are not as frequent, and everybody plays more consistent,
Yeah. So, what was your professional debut like, and what happened through that? And were you excited? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Like, how did you feel during that?
So actually, our first day we got rained out, of course. So opening day we get rained out. So we wait until the next day, and we're playing a doubleheader. And so my family was in town, and the first game I didn't play. I was just chilling on the bench. And the second game I was DH, and I was batting 4-hole. I was batting 6-hole, and we're playing the Yankees. Well, this dude on the mound is throwing 94 to 95. Mm-hmm. And in college, like I probably saw 95 like 2 or 3 times, like if that, in college. And so this guy's just throwing cheese, and there's a runner on second. And I keep fouling off this fastball. Like I'm just a hair late. And finally he threw me a fastball middle in, and I hit a double in my first at bat and got an RBI. And
wow.
Great start.
Yeah. So when I was handing my stuff off, my batting gloves and my Evo shield off to the first base coach, I was shaking. I had so much adrenaline that I could barely even take off my batting gloves. I was just shaking so bad.
Wow. So would you call that one of your like welcome to the pros moments, or like what are other ones that you can tell us?
Welcome to the pros was we were facing a starter throwing 98 to 102.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
And so he's this tall, lanky dude from the Bahamas. He's like 6'5". And in the first inning, I come up, and the first pitch, 99, I turned on it and hit one of the farthest balls of my life.
Wow.
And so like I didn't stop in the box and watch it, but like I hit it, and I just kind of walked like 2 or 3 steps, and then I just laid the bat down and started my trot.
Mm-hmm.
And well, they thought that I had just disgraced his family and everything. So they were yelling at me. And so my next time up, he hit me with 100 right in my ribs, first pitch.
Oh.
And that was just like, well, welcome to it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
102? Oh my God.
How did that feel? Do you still remember how that felt?
Well, they were chirping at me so bad as I was running the bases that like I was like, dude, I'm gonna get hit.
Yeah.
Like I know it. And so it was like just one of those times, like as soon as he got up to here and like before he even released the ball, I was like, oh, this is coming right at me.
Yeah, you could just see it in his eyes or something.
Yeah. And like I don't know, I had some juices flowing and everything. So like it hit me and like I felt it, but it didn't like hurt. Like I was just so like jacked up. It didn't really hurt, but he ended up getting tossed and got a 6-game suspension. So like, yeah, it was crazy. All happening in rookie ball.
So you went yard on him and then he got suspended. That's what's going on.
Right.
It's quite a day. Quite a day.
Right.
Now, would he have you met other players or played against players that you watched or you looked up to when you were younger?
Unfortunately not. But our low A team is in Palm Beach, Florida, and so that's where our spring training complex is.
Right.
And they were playing the Mets probably a month ago.
Okay.
And so our games are now a 6-game series, Tuesday through Sunday. You play the same team.
Okay.
So they're playing the Mets, and the Mets have a bunch of people hurt. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they faced Seth Lugo, a starting pitcher in the majors. They faced Jacob deGrom, and then on Thursday, they faced Noah Syndergaard.
That's
I heard
I remember
was in
seeing
the
like
minors.
the social media
Yeah.
team being like, this has got to stop. Like,
Well, yeah, because I heard
Yeah,
DeGrom was
yeah.
just striking people out left and right.
Yeah, deGrom was sitting 100 to 102 that day. And I think he threw 3 innings and struck out 8 batters.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so our low A team had to face 3 days in a row, 3 big league starters. Unbelievable.
I remember seeing that somewhere on social media. I don't know if you saw it as well, but it was like someone needs to get DeGrom out of here because he was literally throwing cheese that entire day.
Yeah, our the Palm Beach Cardinals Twitter was like they had a lot of fun with it. They were like good sports about it.
Yeah.
They posted DeGrom's stat line and like sent it to the Mets and were like, "Hey Mets, I think DeGrom is good to go again."
I remember seeing that on Twitter. They were like, this has got to stop. This isn't fair.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
That is nuts. Now, what would you call what's your favorite perk about being a pro baseball player? You know, I wouldn't say like going against 100. You know, I don't know. What's your favorite perk though?
Like something fun.
Well, all right. So 2 things. One, just getting paid to play baseball and like getting to like have my job be taking care of my body, like eating healthy, working out, and just getting to have my first job be playing the game that I love. Like there's nothing better than that. But 2, a professional athlete gets a Lululemon discount. And
Really?
So I'm not big into designer clothes, but we were in Appleton, Wisconsin this past weekend, and there's a mall right by us, and there's a Lululemon store in there, and I went in and I tried on like my first ever time trying on Lululemon stuff, and man, I shouldn't have done it because I love them. It's gonna be bad, but yeah, we end up getting a 25% discount on Lulu, so it helps with the price some.
Yeah.
How much did you end up getting?
I got 2 pair of pants. I got these Surge pants, and then I got the like dress travel pants that they have.
I heard Lulu's really comfortable. I haven't got into
it because you're gonna be hooked. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. They're so comfy though.
That's what I've heard, you know.
And, yeah, it's like stretchy material, but like not too stretchy. Like
right.
Man.
I'm gonna stick with my champion shorts. I'm gonna stay there. No Lululemon. I don't know.
That was me, and I had to go in. I don't know why.
I've always seen it. Like I know we get my sister some stuff from there, or my mom, something like that. But like, I've never been like, oh yeah, I want to try this. But the day I walked in to get something for my dad, I had to try it on, and they were very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now, would you say that free time would go into a typical day? Like, would you hang out with your buddies on a typical day, or like, what does that look like?
So a typical day, so they try and manage our workload a lot, make sure that we're not working too hard or working too less. So for this season, we have 120 games. So it is a lot of games. And if you have an injury, it's going to take you 2, 3, 4 times as long to recover it if you just, get an injury in the off season, because you're trying to play through it. You're trying to play every day.
Right.
So on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we usually show up if it's a home game. We'll get to the park around 1:30, 1:45 for a 6:35 game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get there at 1:30 and we'll start doing what they call a cage routine. So, if we have tee work or front toss or something light to get our bodies moving for swings, and that's usually about an hour. Then we'll go out to the field, we'll stretch, we'll throw, and we'll take rounds of infield, and then we'll do a BP on the field from a coach. Then we'll come into the clubhouse. We'll go into the cage again, and this time we'll do machine BP. And usually, if it's a right-handed pitcher that day, we'll do a right-handed slider. Or if it's a left-handed pitcher, we'll do a left-handed slider. And so we can see some off-speed pitches. Then after that, it's about 5 o'clock by then, and we're just hanging out into the game. So at that time, you go into the trainer if you need any kind of treatment. You shower, get ready for the game, and just kind of hang out and relax. About 5:45, we'll go over the starting pitcher for the day and what our approach is going to be. And so pro ball is really cool in that every game is logged. So we have TrackMan that captures every single pitch. Okay, so on any given pitcher, we will have his all of his velocities for all the pitches that he throws. But also what's cool is, to get a little bit more in depth, it'll show you what his fastball looks like, and it's called a heat map. And so let's say an average right-handed pitcher, it'll be a heat map of this. Okay, and anywhere in here, there'll be one dot, and that's where his fastball would be. Okay, but if it's like higher than that heat map, so if it's like up here, what that means is it's going to ride a little bit more. So we've seen so many pitches that, let's say an average fastball drops this much. Okay. Well, if his dot is way above the heat map, then it's only going to drop this much. Okay, so what that tells us is that we might be just under it, and that's because his fastball kind of rides out some, right? So now our approach for this is, when we get a fastball, we got to really make sure it's down, because if it's up here, we're not going to catch up to it, which is how it plays.
Right.
And, if it's, more to the side, maybe it runs this much, it's kind of like a 2-seam fastball or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like the scouting reports that we get on these guys is unbelievable. Anything that you need to know about a given pitcher, like, we will find out, and we'll go over that. And then 6 o'clock, we head out to the field and just kind of hang out in the dugout, do some extra running if we need, do some extra throwing, and just wait for the game to start.
Now, kind of going back to that heat map. Sorry, Colin, I got one more. Could you say that when a certain type of pitch is coming, when a ball would be coming, or like a slider, curveball? Do you know? Could you tell?
Yeah. So they also, with the heat map, they send us a tendency chart. Okay. And that will show his percentage of pitches, 0-0, 0-1, 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, 2-1. It will show us every single count what he throws and how often he throws it.
Okay.
And so, and even more in depth, they give us one of those for nobody on, and they give us one for runners in scoring position, because usually runners in scoring position, they like to throw the breakers a little bit more.
Yep.
So we literally like we know everything about the pitcher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. Gotta
Yeah,
find
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, obviously, it's just a tendency. It doesn't always play out like it, but
right.
it really gives you a good idea of how you need to attack this guy.
Okay. And would you say they're normally correct? Would you say that these heat maps and these tendency charts really help you strive for a better game?
Yeah, I like the heat maps because it gives me at least a little bit of an idea of how the pitch is going to look before I get up there. I don't look too much into the tendencies unless it's like 80% plus. Then I can have a good idea. But if it's like some of these guys throw like 50% fastballs and then like 25 curveball, 25 changeup, so it's kind of like hit or miss.
Yeah.
So, but the heat map is huge. Even more so for the off speed pitches, like, so it could say like this guy has a slider, but well, is his slider more horizontal? Does it have a little bit more vertical break? Like, how is it going to come into me? And so I really like the heat maps for the off speed pitches.
Right. All right. Yeah.
Do you guys use the heat maps for just the starting pitchers that you're facing, or the relief pitchers as well?
We have it on everybody. So anybody that is going to throw, we will have the data on them. And like early in the year, it's a little bit tough because these guys, especially this year, because we had that COVID year off.
Yeah.
But we have stats from them from any time that they played pro ball. If they were in pro ball in 2015, we have their heat map from 2015. We have anything that you could think of.
Right.
So no one's safe.
So another.
No.
Okay. Has anyone ever pulled like a quote unquote fastball on you where they'll throw in a pitcher, like a reliever that you didn't expect to see, or do you do all that research before the night?
So we only go over the starter for the day. Mm-hmm. And so our hitting coach will send us the heat map and the tendency chart. And then his kind of suggested approach on the guy for each pitch, like what we need to do on each pitch. And he'll send that out the day before, and then we'll go over it in person more throughout the day once we get to the park. And we'll also have video on the guy throwing, so we can see him live and in game, how he moves and how he's going to deliver the pitch. And we'll have that playing all day in the clubhouse to get to see the guy before he's actually out there. But then for relievers, as soon as they start warming up a guy in the bullpen, we'll look at his number and we'll pull up his heat map and his tendency chart, and we'll start looking at that in the dugout.
Okay. Yeah, because that's really interesting. Awesome. Yeah, because I was thinking about it. If I'm a coach, I'm like, okay, these guys know who I'm gonna play. What if I just throw in this random guy?
Yeah, no. So if they've thrown an inning, like we have a chart on them.
No one's safe.
So this is kind of a little bit more off topic from that. What has been your favorite place to play, like ballpark wise, whether it could be pros, college, high school, or really kind of your favorite place?
Well, I'll just do both. So for college, University of South Carolina. So even though being from Maryland, like South Carolina was my dream school, and that was my favorite college team, and that's where I really wanted to go. So my senior year at Gardner Webb, we actually got to play South Carolina at their stadium, and it's beautiful, and it was like a dream come true to be able to play on that field. And we were fortunate enough to beat them, and so that was awesome. And then for pro ball, right now, it's been Appleton, Wisconsin, with the Brewers. So we were just there. They have a really nice field and a pretty big stadium, but their fans are awesome. I think they're averaging like 3,000 people a night. So wow. They kind of filled the stadium, and it's just a really, really good atmosphere. It's a big baseball town up there.
And kind of back on to like the pregame, how you kind of study your opponent. Do you guys have notes on like I'm not sure if this is really a thing in baseball. I know it kind of is for other sports, like how the ball is going to bounce on the ground or like how the field is, if that makes sense.
No, so we get that by our Tuesday. So Tuesday is our biggest workload day because that's we're just coming off of an off day on Monday. Monday we don't have anything scheduled. So Tuesday they like to ramp up our workload, and it also helps us get accustomed to the field. So instead of just taking BP on the field, we're gonna do a whole infield outfield routine so that we can get a lot of ground balls and see how the field plays ourselves. So that's something that more you just have to, kind of learn as you go and do it on the fly. But there's no like reports of it.
Yeah. And would you say that there's ever been like an awful field that like the balls would bounce and they'd go like right or left, like it was just rough?
Yes. Even in high A this year, this team in Beloit, they're with the Miami Marlins, and it is terrible. Like it felt like I was playing at like a high school Legion field, like in the back of a like neighborhood. Like there's literally a neighborhood like a block over from us, and just like a bunch of houses, and it was kind of like we were playing at the local park field.
Really?
And there's so many like bad hops. Like there's one of our guys hit a ground ball to shortstop, and it's like just a low ground ball, like barely even hopping, and then right before it gets to the guy, it pops all the way over his head. Like it was one of the worst fields I've played on.
Wow.
Now that's not common. Like all the other fields that we played on are pretty good, but yeah, we'll definitely get some bad fields. And it's, as you start playing on the nicer fields, like the bad fields really aren't terrible. Like if I was in high school or college, like that would be a fine field to play on. I'd probably think it was good, but it's kind of like your taste just gets a little bit better and better as you keep moving up.
Right. Now, speaking of the keywords bad and bounce, how would you bounce back from a bad performance?
Yeah, so that's tough. One thing, like in high school, what do you play like 2, maybe 3 games a week? In college, you play 4. Like in here, you play 6. You're playing pretty much every day. So you can't just like shut down after a bad game. Like in high school, you could shut down and still have 3 days before your next game or whatever, 2 days. Like you just got to flush it. You got to know that, look, just because I went 0 for 4 tonight, like that doesn't mean I'm going to do that tomorrow night, right? But if you just kind of sit and dwell on it, man, you're gonna fall into a rough slump. So like just you either got to try and just find a way to get your mind off of it, talking to your significant other, to your family, to your friends, talking with the guys, like just kind of hang out and almost just try and forget about it a little bit, and just come in like every day is opening day. Like every day you're a clean slate. You're 0 for 0, like nothing in the past matters. Like it's just about right now. So really just trying to focus on the here and now and control what you can control, and just try not to dwell on your past failures, because you're never as bad as you think you are, and you're never as good as you think you are. Just trying to stay even keeled.
I feel like you could use that for a lot of things in life, not just sports as well.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, no doubt.
I think that's all we got for you. So, I mean, thank you so much for coming. This was awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm just going to wrap this up. So please be sure to follow all of the stuff in the outro. There's also going to be a blooper reel in the outro from earlier. That'll be pretty funny.
All
right. We'll see you all next week. I think this is going up. This is going to go up this Saturday, which is the 3rd.
3rd.
So July 4th weekend. We got you guys an episode for that. Thank you so much for joining us. This was a blast. Yeah. Anyone else got anything else you want to say?
Nah, just thanks for having me, guys, and just make sure to tag me in that stuff, and I'll share it around and get it out there.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. This has been the Locker Room Podcast. Good luck to you on the rest of the way. Hope you have a great season this year. And this has been the Locker Room Podcast. We'll talk to y'all next week. See ya.